This is question number 8. We're told that f of x equals 3 minus x and g of x equals 3 over x, where x doesn't equal 0. Part A asks us to find p of x, where p of x equals f of g of x. So we take this slowly to try and keep it nice and simple. We know that p of x equals f of g of x. But what I'm going to do in the next line is write f of, and then I'm going to put an empty bracket, as if we don't actually know what's going to go in there. Okay, if we look at our f of x function, when it's x in the bracket, it's 3 take away x. So pretending we don't know what's going in there at the moment, instead of 3 take away x, we'll have 3 take away an empty bracket for the minute. So we know that it is in fact g of x, which is going in here, and we know that g of x is 3 over x. So f of g of x is the same as f of 3 over x. So in our other empty bracket, we put the same thing, 3 over x. So p of x equals f of g of x. So that means p of x equals, and it's 3 minus 3 over x. And that is our final answer for part A. In part B, we are given a second function, q of x, and we're told that q of x equals 3 over 3 minus x, where x doesn't equal 3. We're then asked to find p of q of x in its simplest form. And up here we have p of x, the answer from part A. So again, to try and keep things nice and simple, we'll take this slowly. So p of q of x, so what I'm going to do once again is pretend that I don't know what's going in the bracket, so I'm going to write p of empty bracket. Now our p function is 3 minus 3 over x, so if we pretend we don't know what's going in the bracket for a minute, then it's going to be 3 minus 3 over, and instead of x, we're just going to have an empty bracket. So we do in fact know what's going in here. We're going to put q of x in here, and q of x is 3 over 3 minus x. So 3 over 3 minus x. That means we substitute that into our empty bracket. So now we have something which looks quite complicated. We have 3 take away, and we're subtracting all of this. So that's 3 over 3 minus x. Now what I'm going to do in the next line is, this looks pretty untidy here. We have a number divided by a fraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this out as a division instead of a fraction. So I'm going to write 3 divided by this rather than 3 over this. Now all of this is going to get pretty complicated. So we know that this minus sign affects this whole fraction. So I'm going to put some squared brackets in here so that we can think about the minus sign at the end. So our next line is going to be 3 minus, and then our square bracket. So on the top line was 3, and that's 3 divided by, and we're dividing by 3 over 3 minus x. The easiest way to do this division is to change it to a multiplication, which means flipping the second fraction upside down. So we have 3 minus, and then our square bracket again. So we have 3, and then we'll change this to multiply, and we'll flip this one upside down. So it's 3 minus x over 3. So we want to multiply these two things together. It might be helpful to think of this as 3 over 1. So we've got 3 times the top line, so it's 3 times all of the top line, so we'll put that into a bracket. So first of all, we'll put the thing which is still outside the square brackets down first of all. And then we have 3 times that bracket, so 3 and then our bracket. And on the bottom line we have 1 times 3, which is 3. So what we can do now is we have a 3 on the top line and 1 on the bottom line here. These two things cancel out. So we're running out of space down here, so I'm going to move the working up and over to the side. So that leaves us with 3 take away what's left inside the square bracket. So that's 3 take away, and the only thing left inside the square bracket is this other bracket, 3 minus x. So it's 3 take away 3 minus x in brackets. That gives us, and on the next line is 3, then we have minus 3 and minus x, minus 1 times minus x, which gives us plus x. So that leaves us with 3 minus 3 plus x. 3 minus 3 is 0. So that just leaves us with x. And that is our final answer. So P of Q of x is just equal to x. And that is our final answer.